It's Tuesday. You know what that means. It's time for Ignition with the AEW Fan Hub podcast team. This is Kelson, and we got a full house here tonight. We just saw Revolution. We are not doing a recap tonight. What we're doing is we're going to look at what happened at Revolution and just give our thoughts on what may happen in the future based on what we saw at Revolution. So let's get started. We're going to kick it off right away with, well, the Texas Death Match at Hangman Adam Page MGF. When is Hangman Adam Page not in a Texas Death Match on a pay per view? Guys, I guess the big question here, look, Hangman Adam Page lost. So the handshake agreement, according to Tony Khan, was that Hangman Adam Page is just like Cody Rhodes in the past, cannot contend for the AEW Men's World Championship anymore. What are your thoughts about this?
I think it's cool that there is actually that thanks to Tony specifying that there's an out. I don't expect that out to be used right away at all, but it gives a nice opening. Say if Hangman were to become desperate enough that he starts going heel or slipping back into his darker ways, that he could go back on his word.
I'm interested to know if anybody has any kind of ideas about what this out might be as well.
I mean, I think there's multiple ways you can run with it. Like I said, you can easily have them do the heel deal and be like, I don't care. I just want the damn title. Screw my word. Screw all of you. I'm getting what I want. You can also have him do where he goes to Tony Khan and like give me a way to earn it back, to be like to prove I deserve to be that and I can be the champion. Like I said before, I think Hangman is more interesting without the belt.
I think the tell is Tony going out of his way to say it's a gentleman's agreement, which means that MJF holds the keys to this. So thinking long term, the only way Hanger can get back into the title picture is if MJF gives him his blessing, which means at some point MJF's going to need something, and Hanger's going to use that as leverage to get back in. It's got to be between the two of them. I don't think this is going to go away. I think this is a piece that's going to keep the two of them connected in some way, shape, or time, some way, shape, or form for a while.
I like that.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%, Barry. I was thinking maybe MJF needs Hangman kind of as the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of thing. So we'll see. Anybody else with any thoughts on this? Also, want to give a shout out to our good friend Wolf in the chat. Uh, really good to see you, Wolf. Thanks for joining. Well, let's move on because, well, the feel good moment of the night, at least for me, was the return of the Billy Goat, Will Ospreay. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had some tears in my eyes when I saw him. It's so good to see him come back. And I was a little bit worried for about 6.4 seconds that maybe it would be like a little stiff and tentative. And no. What do you see Will Ospreay doing? Obviously, he's going for the Death Riders, John Moxley, etc. But let's look forward even toward All In. What are we thinking over the next 5 months for Will Ospreay?
I think he gets his revenge on the Death Riders, goes to the Owen, wins it, and wins the title at All In.
I was actually talking about this on the Discord. Um, since he broke away from the Don Callis family and turned face, he's been sort of a moral beacon for the boys in the back. He's like encouraged forgiveness towards reformed heels like himself. He's encouraged rivals to work together. But will he extend that same sort of grace to Mox once he realizes that Mox has changed in his absence? There's an interesting story there, I think.
I don't think that's a bad take at all, Jess. And if you tie that to kind of what just happened with Mox and Takeshita, I think you might be onto something, Jess.
Shane, you've been kind of quiet. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I mean, it appears that they're bringing Osprey back into the fold and throwing him at a mid card. That doesn't make any sense to me. I do think that this should be him winning the Owen and then, going after the world championship at All In. But I mean, it was a good feel good moment. I kind of see the Death Riders thing as getting drawn out, and in some aspects it's tapered off, but I don't really want to see another like big feud with the Riders, especially against Osprey. It's time for Osprey to start knocking out them dream matches, baby.
You got it. By the way, I just wanted to go back. Wolf in the chat made a comment saying that Hangman can possibly mentor somebody, which is good. Another thing about Hangman that I saw on the Reddit was it's quite possible that Hangman may disappear for a month or two and not be at Double or Nothing and take some time off. Look back on what he's done over the last 6 months. He's had some hell of matches since.
Well, yeah, Kelson. I mean, he's had some of the best matches of the past 2 years of his life. It's kind of like been his whole career, and he deserves to take some time off. He's been in the spotlight the whole time. He's taken a month off here, a month off there. Nothing too crazy. I think it's time that we prioritize some other people that we have in the locker room and kind of take the focus off of him for a minute. Maybe we could start to develop, longer term stories to be, have bigger rewards and start utilizing them young chaps in the back.
Something I heard. He was either on Wrestling Observer or Post Wrestling, one of the two. Somebody had mentioned that the resurgence of AEW really traces back to Hangman's redemption arc through All In and going forward.
Yeah.
And that wasn't something I'd really thought of the other night, and it was sitting there right in front of the faces. That's why I'm still concerned with him being away for gone. They've rode him back to a good relevance and some heat again, and they're building on the momentum. I'm worried with him being out of the picture or away for too long. That could really hurt that.
Barry, I do want to address something you just said. Is that redemption arc does have a lot to do with the resurgence of AEW, but also I think that the resurgence of AEW has to do with going younger.
I kind of disagree with Barry a little bit. I think it's great of what he did, but I think our talent is so stacked full. We had some other returns that came in on the pay-per-view that really we now have even more talent coming in and stuff. I don't think we need Hangman as much, and he could take a small break. I don't mind him staying out till May, June, or something, and recuperating and doing his own thing. We don't have to have him all the time. And I think he kind of overexposure is a little bit too much. But when you have the depth that you have, you don't need certain people all the time.
Right. Well, speaking of depth, let's get back to Will Ospreay. Sorry about that, guys.
But that's the depth, right?
That's the depth.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have Will Ospreay coming back. We didn't hear from. We haven't heard from Ned on this. Let's hear what Ned has to say about the returning Will Ospreay. What do you see in Will Ospreay's immediate and months from now future?
I'm really glad to see Will back. I think that the first thing he's going to do is get back at Moxley. And after that, I just see him just kind of being there, doing what he wants to do, having a good time, not necessarily starting any more feuds with anyone, but just kind of doing what he's always wanted to do, not really having a certain direction to go into. But I do feel like he's gonna get Mox at some point. Moxley has it coming from quite a few people, so I think if anybody pulls it off, it probably would be Osprey.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about the Moxley match in a little bit. Actually, I don't think I did a graphic for that one, did I? Well, let's talk about it right now. Moxley and Takeshita. Moxley walks away. They shake hands. That, of course, precluded Will Ospreay coming out. But I don't think that the Moxley and Takeshita thing is quite finished yet. And now that Osprey's back in the picture, it makes sense maybe to do a three-way here with those guys because it would protect Osprey. Of course, Osprey with his golden retriever energy, there's hardly a chance you can protect the guy. He just goes. He just goes when he's in the ring. What do you guys think about it?
That is a dream match. I would love to see that.
Yeah, I really like that match idea. And you could have Osprey be like, I don't want to win your title. I just want you to lose it. So he could almost like not just let Takeshita win, but like be like, okay, we're gonna beat the crap out of him, and then we can fight between us. And if he comes back, we go against him again.
Could
I don't.
Osprey help
Hmm.
turn Takeshka face in any way? I don't know the past relationship, but I'm dying for him to turn face. I'm so tired of this Okada uh Takeshka feud thing. So I want to know if that could help at all.
Okay, I got some bad news because that Okada to catch the feud's going to go to All In. So strap into your just we're watching
Oh
Oh,
that
yeah,
one
that's
for a while.
100% a
All
thing.
in
Yeah, yeah.
2027.
So back to the triple threat. Who on paper, sure, it sounds like a great idea, but if I'm trying to book this, it doesn't make sense. Takeshita almost beat has gotten right to the limit where he almost beat Mox. If Will's in there, who's eating the pin? Mox for Takeshita to get the title. So now Takeshita can't beat Mox unless he's got a third competitor in there. That kind of bugs me. So I'm not against it. I don't know how they get to that. Kelson, do you have an idea when you pitch that? Like, how do you see him getting to that?
No, the only reason I said it is because I think Tony Khan's going to do everything in his power to protect Will Osprey. Look, Will Osprey had fusion surgery in September, and he was cleared in late February. So he's still even now not that far removed from that fusion surgery. There's no reason for him to be put in danger. But like I said, Osprey's always going to Osprey. So
Yeah.
I'm
What if they
putting
do a tag at Dynasty? Osprey and Takeshita versus Mox and somebody else to get him in, and then you can do
Claudio would
Takeshita
be the easy
Mox.
choice.
Then you can do
well,
Takeshita Mox a double or nothing where Take goes over there.
yeah. There's just all kinds of things you can do with Osprey. It really just
Yeah.
depends on, I think, the confidence that Tony Khan has in unleashing the Billy Goat. Just put it plain and simple. Because once you put Osprey in the ring, Osprey's going to do what Osprey wants to do. Like I said, so how much of a risk do you want to put?
And we'll see what he's going to do tomorrow night against Blake Christian. That should be a
There you
fun
go.
match.
Well, that's going to be a barn burner. Blake Christian is having he looks fantastic right now. But
Yeah. Well, let's move on because we've got still quite a bit more to talk about. This match here, Chris Statlander losing the best 2 out of 3 falls to Tekla. Tekla retains the AEW Women's World Championship. There's kind of 3 questions here. We're going to talk about the Tony Storm Marina Shafir match later on in the show. Uh, Spoiler alert: Tony Storm won. Tony Storm also said she wanted her Women's World Championship back. Is that going to happen at Double or Nothing? The other thing that I think has to be talked about is okay, Chris Statlander. What the hell is going to happen with Chris Statlander now? She's, in my opinion, she's been knocked down, you know, a few rungs on the ladder now with her losses to Tekla, and really not being as dominant as she could be. What are your thoughts?
it could be the same thing as Hanger. I know I actually agree, with the idea that we don't want to take the focus off of Hanger for too long. I would say the same for Stat, but she's been working pretty consistently for the past couple of years. Maybe she wants to take that break, get a breather, catch up with life. You know, maybe rehab that knee because it looks like she's kind of been hopping on it a little bit these past couple months.
Good point.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I think a lot of this was about really establishing Tekla as a top, a top lady or woman. I'm not sure the right term. I want to, but
Heel.
yeah, but you gotta sacrifice, the big dog sometimes. And to your point, Kelson, I'm not sure where she goes, and it's kind of frustrating because I felt she was really getting close to finally cracking like her character. She's always been missing that one or two pieces, and she's been exploring a little bit about it in her promos and how she's dressing and even her moveset a little bit. So maybe some time away to help her just hone that a little more, and then when she returns for that big return, um, wherever they plug her in, she'll have that little piece figured out. I think she's close. I don't want her to be gone for too long. I think she still needs those reps.
Yeah,
I was honestly. Go ahead.
they say absence makes the heart grow fonder. I think both her and Hangman could take about a month or so off because,
Yeah,
for
4 6 weeks.
Hangman,
Yeah,
brutal match, and he's not handling the fact that he can never challenge for the title well, so he can't be there because he doesn't want to fall into old patterns. And Statlander, you could almost give her the exact same thing. Like you saw when she didn't have that success, she went bad. Not as bad as Hanger. She didn't burn down anyone's house or anything like that, but they both have that kind of, they broke, they came back, and now they're without the title again. They need to take some time away.
You know, in terms of that like handshake agreement, like the first person that asked about it at the scrum, Tony Khan was like, "Yeah, it was a handshake deal. Whatever happens, happens." I don't really see that having an impact. If anything, I think the Hangman would lay low for a couple weeks and then start messing with anyone that's coming after the World Championship. Is it about MJF and his arrogance, or is it about being the top guy, the hero? I think it's a little bit of both, but I don't know.
I was thinking for
That's
some,
it.
you may have seen my reaction. I had an epiphany there. So what if Stat backs away? I think they're hinting that Willow may drop the TBS title soon. So then she's in a very similar predicament. Willow will have lost the tag belts and her TBS title and be facing two behemoth women running the women's division now with well, we'll get to them later. So what if this ends up with Stat and Willow teaming up to go back after the tag titles?
I was worried at the first of this thing at the pay per view because I thought they were going to give it right back to Stat, but I have grown to like Tekla a lot more than I like Stat. I feel Stat is a complete wrestler where Statlander lacks at some stuff. So I was worried, but they did it right, and the way they did the finish really solidified that she's a good champ. I want to see Stat. I would not mind honestly her going for the tag or whatever, or the both of them going after the Sisters of Sin or whatever it's called nowadays. But the women division is so good, and later on, we'll talk about the tag team thing. But the landscape is changing, and I think it's good for the AEW for it to be completely changing.
I mean, age-old question: do we need it to be a title feud for it to be a good program? I mean,
Absolutely
No.
not.
Stat could come back and really go after anyone, and so as long as she's taking that time to develop those skills and get those reps in, could be even better than what she has been doing. So
I mean,
only
Hanger and
time will tell.
Swerve didn't have the title most of the time they feuded.
Exactly. We've said it before on this podcast. A lot of the things that AEW has done well have not had titles attached to it. They've just been good old fashioned. I don't like you. You don't like me. Let's settle it in the ring in a Texas death match. I want to give a shout out to a few of the comments that Marcus the Entertainer and Wolf have made. Marcus in the chat said Tekla, I'm sorry, and Statlander was a good feud once people get past Chris dropping the title. And he also said Tekla versus Willow at All In. Let's give Willow her big moment along with Osprey. And then he went on to say, I agree Stat was close to figuring out her character, which is what Barry was saying. She needs to continue working on that. Tekla is undeniable right now. Wolf also chimed in with a comment. Let me find it real quick. That was Tekla and Willow at all. Willow at all in was what Wolf had said. And then Wolf, I don't know. You're trying to be funny here, but or were you being serious? I'm interested to know. Statlander for TNT champion would be cool. Yes, I know. I said TNT champion. Were you being serious there, Wolf, or did you just
Yeah.
kind of misplace that? Regardless, I think what's been lost in all this is Tekla. Really established herself as a very, very good champion. Very good on the mic in a different kind of way than we're used to, I think, but still pretty good. And just dripping with hate. And hate was where she was in stardom.
Zesty. She's zesty.
Who's the
Yeah.
next program for her, though? I think that's where we were supposed to go to.
Remember, Mercedes Monet wants back that title. So,
Well, she never had that
one
title.
shot. Well, she wants a shot at it, though.
She wants a shot at it. Tony Storm is the one who wants back the title. We could see both of them get their shots at Tekla.
Britt
So-
Baker, womp womp. I'd love, to be honest, I would love to see it be Britt Baker comes back with the chip on her shoulder, just starts wrecking everyone. Like that could be a lot of fun. I'm not even a Britt Baker fan.
Who can they feed her right now? Like who's
You know
left?
what?
Is it, like so many of the
Nyla
baby faces are
Rose.
in tag. Yeah, for a
Nyla
short-term
Rose would be
feud.
awesome.
Yeah. Somebody
anybody.
at the Reddit subreddit, I don't know why, and it's weird that this happens, but whenever somebody says, who's next? Who gets a shot next? Somebody always brings up Riho. A lot.
Yeah.
People love
That would
Riho.
work here. That would work here.
She's the first ever
For a
I
champion.
love
dynasty match,
Riho.
yeah.
Popular. She's not there enough, so you're like, man, I want to see more Riho. Like, and yeah,
And a
she'd be a
former
great
champ.
challenger.
Yeah.
Former champ
Yeah.
adds credibility if
Yeah.
to Tekla
Yeah.
again.
I want to see Nyla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, from what people are saying, and I don't know, I'm speaking completely by what I'm reading on the AEW Fan Hub subreddit, but because I guess the gaming commission or whatever precludes Nyla from wrestling in some states, she may not be the best choice to wrestle and regain the championship right now. Plus, I think Nyla's kind of happy where she is. She's doing a lot of coaching, from what I understand, and mentoring in the back, and good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This
moving
prob-
more to an office role. Yeah.
Yeah,
this probably shouldn't be the place to discuss sociopolitics, but that's BS. Let her
No,
wrestle.
I agree.
Let
I
her
agree with
wrestle.
you. I agree. There's very few people, and I will say this in all honesty, in the AEW fan community that do not show love for Nyla Rose and wish her the very best. And it's as simple as that.
One of the best Twitter follows around. Like, she's hilarious.
So, what if Harley Cameron was to? I said, what if Harley Cameron was to go after Tekla? That would be very interesting. Funny versus a little bit more wild.
It would be funny, but I don't know.
It's a TV main event. Though.
Yeah,
Marcus the Entertainer just brought up Queen Aminata. Don't forget, they have history, and Queen Aminata
Yes,
it should be
she's
close to
cleared.
being back. So, yeah.
One of the good low key in ring only feuds last year.
Striker against striker. Mean against happier but mean.
And they just beat the crap out of each other too.
Yeah, just
what more do you
God,
need?
Slobberknocker.
To be fair, to get us back on track, as long as it's not someone they're bringing in from the outside, what is it? Dakota Kai has been like around the conversation, like pretty big lately. Like I just like someone new from the locker room to be that person.
Yeah, they don't need anybody from the outside.
Yeah.
I think Riho works. I think that's probably where they go, Chelsea.
but if they did somebody like Riho, I don't want it to be a one and done kind of thing. I think that's the big thing that really upsets people is you get Riho in, she goes and she puts on a good match to earn a good couple of matches to earn her title shot, loses the title, and then isn't seen for 2 or 3 months or more. But let's move on because again, we still got quite a bit to talk about. I want to talk about FDR under Boston Celtics ring gear. This was a interesting match, and Barry, if you notice, the graphic says FDR handled with TLC, and I believe you are the one that brought up TLC. Care to explain that?
Tables, ladders, and chairs, or the band? I'm teasing from the '90s. The record.
Joe
Or as
Scruggs.
Natsupoi would say, tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese.
Tomatoes, lettuce, and cheese. Yeah.
Well,
So go
FTR
ahead.
are scrubs, so it worked.
Hey, don't go
That's
chasing
true.
waterfalls there, buddy.
Yeah. So I I think this is really interesting. Everybody knew Cope and Christian were going to come back, and I didn't know when. I thought it was going to be before this, but the fact that the Bucks were involved at the end there leads me to believe that they are going to go eventually down the line with a three-way, probably for the titles at some point between the Bucks, FTR, and Cope and Christian. You could build it. I mean, it's the dreamest of the dream matches. You can build it for the greatest tag team of the 2000s. There's a lot, solid argument for that, I think, with these three. So I could see Cope and Christian picking up the belts in Vancouver and Canada. Maybe the Bucks winning them at Double or Nothing, bounce them around a little bit, leading to a three-way. And for something like that, maybe you put that stipulation in there with the tables, ladders, and chairs to make that for All In. Or maybe you do the three-way the first time at Double or Nothing, then you run it back with higher stakes with tables, ladders, and chairs at All In. Either way, I wouldn't be shocked if they went a little deep into the back catalog there with Cope and Christian for one of their last big matches.
Can't say I disagree with you there. Anybody else with some opinions of their own, or would you like to address Barry's opinions?
Sorry for
Yeah,
rambling so much.
I think that's exactly the way to go. Like, you could do maybe like you said, a regular three-way, and have maybe FTR win it, like another shock, and then Cope and Christian are like, okay, we'll put our careers on the line to beat you, and then they do that, and then
Boom.
the Young Bucks are like, we're still right here. We're still one of the greatest tag teams of all time. You guys ain't leaving us out anymore. And then that's how you build to the triple threat at All In, or the TL, or whatever they're going to call it.
Texas Death Ladder Match.
Sounds good.
I'm surprised that FTR made it into and out of the building with what they were wearing. I can't
I
believe
love
them. But
I love that stuff. Just the
Oh,
Yeah,
hidden stuff.
it was such
I
a
was upset Stokely was not also in green and black, or in green and
yeah,
white. I thought that was a missed opportunity there too.
How
it
about
was
yeah.
just such a great little thing.
how about the miraculous recovery by Stokely?
Oh my
Yeah,
jeebus.
he's a medical miracle.
I'll tell you what.
It's got a healing factor.
It's all those donations.
No, this is
Yes,
a product of
I
the
proudly
life.
donated $0.
I think a lot of people did.
He took that pretty good too as a bump.
He took it better than Cash did.
Yeah.
You did. You absolutely did.
Yeah. Gotta call it the kill switch now.
There you go. Well, let's move on. I know that we have a lot of Megan Bain fans on the podcast. There's so many people that I've seen mention Megan Bain finally got her title. And Lena Cross, who just relatively started with AW, got her title, got 2 title matches at the pay per view, one on 0 Hour and one on the proper pay per view. So, colossal Lena Cross is a big deal already I like seeing it. I do. I like seeing it. Well deserved. We had a lot of people on the podcast, on the subreddit say what they thought was next for the Divine Dominion, as I think their name is. Tony Khan alluded to it in the media scrum if you saw it, but who do you think is next for the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Linda Cross?
Not TJ.
Well, that's a good call right there.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry, I'm just trying to break the silence. I mean, who else is it gonna be? We've seen forefront of the Babes, and then Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa. They got to bring people over from ROH.
Well, did you see what Tony
Birds.
Khan
It's the
said?
birds, right?
It's the
Birds,
brawling.
Jamie Hayter and,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
I didn't
brawling
even see. I
birds.
didn't even see the presser. That's who makes
Yeah,
the most sense.
that's what Tony Khan said. I really like the Brawling Birds. That basically is Tony Khan saying the Brawling Birds are going to be the tag team champions here in a little bit.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't know I really liked two large, gigantic women walking down the ramp together to the ring until the pay-per-view. How tall?
We've
They're
learned about
both over.
ourselves.
They're both about 6 feet, right? They're both over 6 feet.
I think Megan Bayne is 5'11" and Lena Cross is 6 feet.
Okay, so with the
Yeah.
gear and the boots, they probably get an extra 2 inches or so. Yeah,
Right.
it their strut, and this is a small showpiece thing. The way they strut, and Megan's excellent at this, but Lena has it too. They just look so imposing. They exude confidence with every step, every time that heel crashes, every little lip curl sneer that Bane does. And Lena's got her own little smirk. Like that team just felt like money when they came down that ramp. And I think watching them go up against the Birds, who are two ladies that can hit hard too, which is Bane works really well with that style. Not too familiar with Cross. I think this could be a really fun feud. I'd like to see them feud, not just a one-off thing. Like, give us some meat and potatoes, a couple singles matches off this in TV, and a couple tag matches for the titles, and give us some meat here because I think this could be a really fun feud for them.
Yeah. You know, one thing I want to point out about the Divine Dominion, when they get to the ring, both Lita Cross and Megan Bayne, what they do is they raise their arms parallel to the ring. And if you noticed, their arms, I don't know what it is, if it's a camera angle or if their arms look like they're 4 feet long each. You know, and all I can imagine is Jamie Hayter standing across from Megan Bayne, and Megan Bayne just kind of putting her hand on the top of uh, Jamie Hayter's head, you know, and just holding her back as Hayter swings wildly and can't reach her. You know, I think Atlanta Cross could do the same thing. It's just they're ridiculously athletic looking for their size. Does that make sense? Because a lot of times you see big men and big women who don't look athletic. And I would go on to say I think they're the biggest and most athletic looking women that the AEW's had since Jade Cargill, but both of them could wrestle Jade Cargill under
And they're fast.
under the ring. Exactly.
They move like Wonder Woman. They move. They're not like a slow plodding giant. They move like you're watching Wonder Woman wrestling.
Exactly.
Yeah, they are.
Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought. Sorry.
I was just going to say, like, they are both incredible athletes. Like, you can tell, like, these aren't just big or strong women. These are explosive women. Like, they've got the speed, they've got the power. Like, they're going to be a hell of a problem for every other tag team in the division.
I was just gonna say I had a thought. As they look great together, they instantly have like super clicky chemistry. Divine Dominion is an awesome tag team name.
Oh, so good, so good.
But where does this leave Penelope when she gets back?
Exactly. Good
I was
point.
thinking, I feel so bad.
Manager. She's she's a solid talker. She's got a good look, and you can do the whole. They've got the kind of Greek goddess deal. Gods and goddesses always had a priestess that spoke to the masses for them.
An
She's good
oracle.
enough on the mic. She's got a great look. Give her that role, and she's still in there. It's perfect for them because neither one of them speak that much, and it makes it just so much better and more effective.
I have a
Yeah, I
thought
agree
about
100% there.
I do have a thought about Penelope Ford. What about Ring of Honor, World Television Champion, or something to that effect? I made a post on the AEW Fan Hub subreddit, which I think is kind of enlightening. Go look at it. The gist of it is that the Ring of Honor titles don't change hands. There are title holders that have had the titles in Ring of Honor since 2024. And some of the titles that have changed hands were done because of injury and stuff like that. So go look at that post on the AEW Fan Hub subreddit. Ring of Honor titles don't change hands. Now that you've got Ring of Honor becoming, I would dare to say, more visual and more important in the AEW Ring of Honor landscape, I think it would be great to see wrestlers like Penelope Ford go to Ring of Honor and contend at least for a title. Just saying. All right, then. Well, let's move on because this is something that I I know that Barry has said in the past that you like to see titles like this hot potatoing. And I don't think there's a title in AEW that is hot potatoed more than the trios title. We went from late last year where the titles were never even seen on TV. We went like 2.5 months without a defense. Now we've had 3 different champions, 4 different champions, as a 3 or 4 at least since the beginning of the year, or at least since uh, World's End, right? So now
Yep.
we've got Jet Speedico with a Jet Speedstico. That's not the official name. That's the shit that I made up. Um, I have heard it. Other people say it too, though. Well, where do we go from here with these guys? They're ready made. They have all gone to CMLL. They're not only going to be probably defending in AEW, they're going to probably be defending in CMLL as well. Wouldn't you agree with that?
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so, though it is interesting because Mystico is now a trios champion in both AEW and CMLL.
Yeah,
You know,
go ahead, Shane.
I actually wanted to compliment you, Barry. We're on the same page with that. Sometimes I think that it's absolutely necessary for them to, bounce a belt or a set of belts around. In the case of the trios titles for AEW, it's kind of the only thing that's keeping optics on, that division, which is sad. But I think the bigger issue with AEW and the trios titles is we do have all of these big factions and we had all these big trios, and then like you'll get these guys in these programs and then one of them is instantly injured for 8 months. Like that's kind of like Scorpio Sky with Top Flight, Jay White with the Bang Bang Gang, and then one of the obviously the Ass Boys as well. So, and I could give a couple more examples, but I mean it keeps happening. I would say either break up the belts or dedicate another
Well,
15 minutes to it per program.
part of the
I agree.
pitch though of the hot potato thing of the way I would book it is it's the perfect division to just stick people in. And the ops showed that worked. Somebody got hurt, they plugged in Hobbs, just kept going. So any team or any trio, whether it's a normal trios team or something else, you can plug somebody in, but it's the perfect set of belts where you can just throw a team together. To your point of faction, Shane, the Callis family had it out of nowhere. Then you throw Mystico back with Jet Speed. Now they've got it back. It is the perfect division to put people together. You don't have anything else to do and have them wrestle some people. You'll have legit trios teams and a couple grab bag of the month or whatever to do something with some folks and have some fun with it.
Well, I mean, look at the landscape right now too. Like, there's still people scratching
Yeah.
their heads saying, like, "Hey, look at David Finlay." Like,
Yeah, there's a
like
trios team.
perfect example. You know, you got a trios team now. You could not just use this as an opportunity to utilize people that are sitting, but you could also kind of put optics on
Yep.
newer talents that are kind of transitioning in. Hey, he's good for this reason. Wait till you see him in singles competition. Then boom, you got him in a full-time program.
I really like this team of Jet Speed and Mystico. I really need Mikey Ruckus to come up with a new theme that kind of blends theirs together because I love Mystico's theme. But they're all three high flyers. They're all Brazil. Hopefully, they keep it for a little bit longer. So that I don't mind hot potatoing, but I want to see them hold it for a little bit longer, maybe till All In or something, a- and then put on a great match. But they're fantastic together, and I really think they're going to help that division put on some matches for all time.
I do want to break in here. Conrad from the Everything Pro Wrestling Hub podcast has joined the chat. Just to let you guys know, tomorrow night, right after Dynamite, the Everything Pro Wrestling Hub podcast will be live on YouTube. The link is on your screen right now at EPW Show on YouTube. And they'll be doing their Dynamite review show. Always entertaining, always really interactive. They do such a good job. Go over there, give them a listen. Tell them that AEW Fan Hub sent them so that we get the commission. You hear that,
Everything Pro
Conrad?
Wrestling
We
/ AEW
demand.
Fan Hub.
Yes. There are partners. There are partners on Discord. We're having a really good time. We're well over 500 members on Discord. It's very active. The the live chat for Revolution was an absolute blast. And yeah, so just give them a listen tomorrow night. And if you like it, and I know you will, like and subscribe. While we're at it, like and subscribe to this video if you're watching it, because put a lot of effort into this, and a lot of people from the AEW Fan Hub community give their time to participate in this. So let's keep it rolling. Anybody else with any thoughts on well, Jet Speeds the Co? That is a hard thing to say.
Get Speedico.
It's Jet Set Mystico.
There you go.
Race Mysticos.
No
Pretty sure
more
that's what's going to
rodeo.
be, Jess. Just roll, same beats, same cadence. The preview one. I think you're probably right, Jess.
Yeah. If you didn't see the presser or the media scrum, as AEW calls it, man, Tony Khan is such a Mystico fan. He made that very clear. He made it very clear. All right, then. Well, let's move on then. We just talked about the trios. The most dangerous man in AEW. As of Revolution, maybe if they have a match on Dynamite, we get a different result. But as of right now, the most dangerous man is Swerve Strickland. Now, what does he do? Don't forget, we had Kenny Omega come out to save Brody. Is that the next step?
He's going to destroy everyone that's got in the way of him and the world championship. He's going to go after Hangman out of pure spite. So he's going to do Swerve Strickland stuff because that seems to be the direction he's headed back into.
What about the embassy? We've seen the towel or whatever that is that Prince Nana has been carrying around for weeks now. Is there going to be the return of the Moguls? Or the Mongols is...
Which version?
Well, any version. It could be a brand new version.
I don't want to see Parker Bordeaux come back, but it'd be interesting to see somebody join him.
You know, I mean, to kind of backtrack a little bit, this goes back to the trios titles thing. You know, does Swerve need to be in a faction right now? Because he's kind of been cohabitating on his own, you know, but you do have all of these factions that, other than the Don Callis family, of course, that are kind of on the DL right now because leadership is either injured or they have more than one guy out. So, you know, I don't think the embassy, the Mogul embassy, the Gates, anyone that Swerve is palling around with now is gonna co-sign for anything serious with him because he's already proven to be untrustworthy across like 2 or 3 different factions.
Yeah, Swerve is an apex predator. He has Nana, and I think that's quite enough long-term companionship for him. He's just fine on his own, I think.
Wolf in the chat just said AR Fox and Swerve were too short-lived, but I thought they were money together.
Oh yeah, they were in Lucha Underground.
Yeah,
Yeah, I missed them together.
Yeah.
We always got Mr. Lee out there too, if he's healthy enough to go.
Yeah,
I
mean, man, yeah, Jess, I just, I will definitely burst into tears when Keith Lee comes back, and I
Me
hope he
too.
does.
Me too.
It'd be pretty emotional. If he
Y'all
could
know how
still
much
go.
I love me some Keith Lee. I will be openly weeping when I see him again.
Indubitably. Yeah, but with Swerve, it's he can do anything he damn well pleases because that's what Swerve's character is.
Where do you go after Kenny though, Kelson?
After who?
Kenny. Like, so we have the program with Kenny. Like, I'm trying to think what's the direction for both of them actually. So they have their program, but where does Swerve go after that, or does it?
It crossed my mind that it's not going to be a retirement arc for Kenny, but kind of a quasi retirement arc. I think that Kenny will go into a mode where he's in between a full-time wrestler and just a little bit more than what Bryan Danielson was able to do, because I think he's healthier than Danielson is at this point in his life, but still he's not 100% the Kenny that we all expect to see. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the guy went through a lot, and just seeing that he's out there to begin with in any way, shape, or form is a win for AEW fans. But I want Kenny to be healthy. I don't want him to kill himself in the ring. I don't know if that makes sense, but yes, Marcus, Barry is playing fetch. I don't know who he's playing fetch with. It looks like he's playing fetch with Shane, which is a trick.
So what if I'm just throwing this out here? What if Swerve beats on Kenny so bad that Hangman comes back and say, "Hey, no, we're not doing it. That's my guy," and that starts off that feud.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that they'll frame Kenny, at least anytime soon, in a manner where he looks like he's that weak.
Yeah, I was thinking too when I was trying to figure out how they get Hanger back into the main event scene. I could see MJF trying to avoid getting any of Swerve's smoke, and so like he has to somehow beat Swerve. I don't know how they would do it to avoid having to face him in a singles match or something like that. And then MJF he goes to the only man who knows how to beat Swerve, which is Hanger. And then Hanger only does it on a condition that he allows, because Max has to grant it. It's their agreement. Max lets him back into the scene, but yeah, I don't know where they go with Swerve after Kenny, really.
Well, like I said earlier, Swerve could go anywhere. He's one of those guys, I think, that Tony Khan could put into any situation, whether it's a singles arc, whether it's, don't forget, you got the Owen coming up, and he'll probably be part of that. May lead to the Owen being Osprey versus Swerve in the finals. That would be a hell of a thing. And to have some really good matches leading up to that as well. Yeah. You know what else would be really good matches to have in the finals? My guy, Andrade El Idolo, who had a banger of a match with Bandito. Look, I said it last week. the Ring of Honor World title was not up for grabs in this match, which kind of gave it away that Andrade was going to win it. But I was still looking forward to this match because I love professional wrestling, and show me two wrestlers that have the chemistry that Bandito and Andrade have. There's not that many of them. This was a brilliant match. Andrade is a main event talent now. He wasn't before in AEW. He certainly wasn't in WWE. And now he is doing, and he's not only doing everything right, he looks like he's having the time of his life doing it. Kudos to Andrade. What do you guys think about Andrade and Bandito, and what's next for Andrade?
Well, the dude had a pay come up and got to get away from his ex-wife in tandem. That sounds like a win-win. And then he automatically enters a promotion where he's a top guy, you know. And he put the time in. Look at his body. Look at his physique. Look at his demeanor. He carries himself like a completely different professional wrestler now in AEW. He looks incredible, and good for him. I'm glad that, you know, I mean, it's not a grass is greener on the other side conversation. It's about compatibility, and he obviously, you know, is more compatible here. And I hope they utilize him as such. That Bandito match, Kelson, I agree completely, was absolutely top notch. It was fantastic. It's definitely in the conversation for match of the night. For me, at least, I thought it was great.
Yeah,
I had high expectations for this match, and it met the expectations.
You picked
Yeah.
it as the sleeper of the show, right?
I didn't think it was going to be the sleeper. I thought it was
Not the sleeper. I mean
the
yeah, that's it, right?
I thought it was going to be not even sleeper.
I really want to see Andrade get a shot at MJF. I think he's worked his way up. It'd be a good sub feud. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view match, but those two could put on some good matches, and you get Don Callis in the main event scene, which we all want. I know.
Isn't Andrade the last one left from that walk of challengers MJF went down like a Dynamite 6 weeks ago or so? He's faced everybody except Andrade from that walk now, I think, right?
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Or was
Yeah.
Kenny one? I don't know. Was Kenny in there? I can't remember if Kenny was there too. Maybe Kenny too.
No, MJF beat Kenny.
He
Well,
did?
Yeah, during his it's his record breaking title reign. It happened.
No.
on,
I mean the current reign. When he won the belt, he had the walk down the hall of challengers, and like everybody came out on that one episode. I think Brody was there, Andrade, Hangman, and I want to say maybe Kenny. There was somebody else. I'm not remembering.
He hasn't
I
done
think
anything yet now.
he walked past Kenny. He walked past Brody King, then Kenny, then Andrade, and then got stopped by Hangman in the parking lot.
Okay, so there's two left. So yeah, so then maybe Andrade's next in that program, and then after that, maybe Kenny feuds with MJF. Does Kenny win the belt, and it's Kenny versus Ospreay at All In? They're not going to have many other chances to do that one.
I want to go to the chat real quick because we've had quite a few comments in the chat. Wolf says about Swerve versus Fletcher, full on feud. We didn't even think about Kyle Fletcher. That would be pretty good. He also said Andrade and Bandito was also great. One hell of a draw. Those fans really wanted to see them at Revolution. He then went on to say Andrade is special. Marcus the Entertainer, I think we're getting MJF versus Andrade at Dynasty. And EPW show said about Andrade, best work of his career. And then he said, Kelson, order the crew those DCF varsity jackets. Guys, send me your sizes.
Oh, those were so great.
Those were awesome. I won't mind in blue.
All right, anybody else with any thoughts on Andrade?
Here's a theory.
I just want to say, Viva la lucha libre!
Hell yeah.
Here's a quick theoretical question. If Andrade were to take a selfie with Tony Storm, would the phone combust through the level of sheer hotness?
I don't know, but
Yeah.
as a guy, I could say with all certainty. I'm so comfortable in my manhood that I could say that I want to have Andrade's baby. I really do.
It's a very attractive dude. He's a good looking
He
dude.
is. I am jealous. Every time he's out there, I get so jealous of him because I used to look that like that. If you go to a fun house and squint real hard.
Yeah. The before times, as we like to refer to him.
Giving out his phone number with gloves on is what always gets me. Tapping on the phone.
Yeah, APW show said, I cannot wait for the payoff with the phone stuff. Was it me or did he have two different women this week?
He did.
He did. Man is moving up in the world.
Uh,
Oh, man. But I don't know. One of the women that was not in his pictures and was not waiting for him backstage or outside of the ring was Ronda Rousey made a return to AEW. Well, it is her first time in AEW. She had wrestled in Ring of Honor before. This has gotten a lot more play than I frankly expected. To me, when she showed up, I was like, she's out there promoting her fight against Gina Carano. This is it. We're not going to see her anymore. And people are just talking and talking and talking and talking about Rowdy Ronda Rousey to the point where Tony Khan's got to bring her back now.
She's
I
not going to be
hope
doing
not.
anything
Well, just so
physical
people
before
can
that
boo.
fight, though.
Grumble,
But yeah, I mean,
grumble,
she's the
grumble.
heat magnet.
yeah,
Exactly.
It's
I,
not good heat.
Oh,
Yeah,
As soon-
I'd argue it's good heat.
Well,
I,
no,
I
it
don't.
as
was like go away.
I
No.
gotta, I gotta listen. I see both sides of the spectrum. On one side, you have a morally irreprehensible, awful, god awful conspiracy theorist who has put so much bull crap into the ether, Ronda Rousey. But like at the same time, like I'm sure Barry, you and I are on the same page here. Like it's gonna put asses in seats, and viewers are gonna tune in to see it,
Yep,
and it's an opportunity to grow the
Is
brand.
it
And
though?
it is.
like
It is.
No,
yeah,
It
if
it
I
is,
may,
is.
it like it
Is
or
this
not.
Guys,
how you
it
want to
is.
grow it?
Well, I
It
mean, like
is.
it,
not with
like or
her.
not,
yeah, my husband has actually said that like her presence has sort of turned him off, like watching AEW further if she
I,
sticks around long.
Yeah, like I can say this. I will do what when she comes on the screen. I will do what Kelson does when Eddie Kingston shows up. I will turn it off and be like, "Tell me when she's gone."
I can't stress this enough. We are outliers. Everybody who is on this podcast right now is not your standard issue casual professional wrestling fan.
Exactly.
And we will tune back in whenever the thing we don't like is over, whether that's Eddie Kingston or Ronda Rousey. Shane's absolutely right.
Don't
This
put
is an
Eddie in the
opportunity
chat
to get
notes.
mainstream press. It may not be the person we prefer to do that with, but this is the opportunity here. And you've got somebody who wants to play ball because she's got an axe to grind with the other team. That's
That's
why
the
this is
problem.
going on. She's not going to be doing anything physical before her fight, or at least in a match. I'm certain for legal reasons. We'll probably see her in a tag match afterwards, like in Ring of Honor, and that's likely going to be the end of it.
I don't. I have a problem with people who trash the industry and then come begging, running to it to
You're not wrong. You're not
get
wrong.
attention back on her. I don't want her on there, and like Chris said, I will tune out completely when she's on.
Yeah, like if she truly apologized for all the disgusting stuff she said about wrestling, wrestlers, and wrestling fans, I'd be like, fine. If it was just that, the fact that it took her years to apologize for being a Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist and she never apologized for being a transphobe, that's what turns me off.
I mean, again, I agree with you 100%. We shouldn't be giving douchebags platforms. It is what it is. And it is going to draw a lot of new viewership to the product. I mean, like, if we were going to object this and if our voices, were far beyond this, it's not going to have that. It wouldn't have that much of an impact. Wouldn't make that much of a difference. I mean, it's going to happen whether we like it or not. Like Barry said, we're still gonna tune back in, and I
Yeah,
do think she's going to be here. And a lot of all that crap talk was work. And yeah, all the same. I would rather not see her anywhere. It is what it is. But I mean, it's from a business perspective. This can only be turned in a positive direction. Why
there are
wouldn't
a
you do it?
ton of eyeballs right now on this fight, a ton of press on this fight, and they're going to mention that she's doing professional wrestling with AEW. That's why this is a Carney promotional thing. Like I said, it doesn't need to be the person we'd prefer it to happen with, but this is the opportunity available right now. And if Tony's going to take it, he has to take it.
And let's count our blessings. At least it wasn't Tessa Blanchard.
Ooh.
Whoo-wee. Okay. But hey, you know what? I wanted to address something that was said. I can't remember who said it, but yeah, we've got, she's a scumbag. She's a douchebag. She is this, that, and the other thing. But so is MJF, and he's our champion, and we cheer him.
It's a great
Yeah, but
segue,
he's not.
Kelsey.
But he's not a shoot douchebag.
No, he's just a douchebag. I mean, he's in kayfabe, but that's what he does. I mean, he's never out of character. And
No,
I
but that's
would say
Rhonda in real life.
when
That's
it,
a
when
As
it,
difference.
Rhonda
when
and
it comes to
kayfabe isn't either.
when it comes to Rhonda, I will say this, and then we will end the show. And people may want to respond to this. That's fine, but what Rhonda said about professional wrestling, I think she said that about sports entertainment. She hasn't said that about AEW because AEW is where the best wrestle. It would be
It's a
kind
10 out
of
of 10 closure there, Kelson.
it would be kind of
No
hypocritical for to
notes.
say that. Would it be hypocritical for to say that about professional wrestling and then
There's
to
your
show
promo.
up and then to show up where the best wrestle? No, she was saying it about sports entertainment, which is not professional wrestling.
Well,
I am sorry, it's not.
That could be her promo. I mean, that's her promo on TV.
There you go.
I mean, you
I'm
wrote
all
it for her.
for it.
Those lines are perfect.
Yeah, so just as long as she doesn't say anything transphobic or whatever, I'm sorry, but
It's
it's wrestling,
it's
and
a
that's
show.
what we should be focusing on.
There's an opportunity here on both sides. She's going to be well behaved because she needs things to build buys and put butts in these seats. This is a business thing. She's going to behave herself. After it's over, she may go back to being whatever she wants, but you're going to see the best version of her for the period of time she's doing business here, and they'll part their ways.
I agree with you, Barry. Let her do what she does. If it builds butts and put buys in the seat,
I'll
or something
agree to
to that effect.
disagree. I don't.
Well, I mean, anything else, and we're feeding into the tribal bullshit machine. I mean, the tribalism bullshit machine.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we want to be accepting of the people objectively. That there are some things there are a no-fly zone for me. Ronda Rousey, in terms of who she is as a person, hits all of those. But I mean, I want to see this brand grow and blow up and stay relevant.
Well, look, here's the thing. When you have a problem with somebody that is despicable, when you think of somebody as being despicable, whether it's a professional wrestling or in just your personal opinion about somebody, wouldn't you want to see them get their asses kicked, whether it's in a UFC MMA match or a professional wrestling match? That's what we should be looking forward to. Get Nyla Rose to kick her shit in. There's your match right there. Nyla Rose beats the crap out of Ronda Rousey. Everybody wins.
may I make one more point?
Sure, go ahead.
I was also I made a point over on the Reddit that there was a double standard at play here. Like, the one guy from the Rascals got fired before he even started for racist Nazi bullshit he pulled. If that was a non-starter for him, how come it wasn't for her?
Because that was a call made by the Warner Brothers Discovery bosses, right? And Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't have the pull that they did anymore because they're in the midst of a sale.
It's hypocrisy.
Like it or not, it is what it is. I understand and I agree with what you're saying, but that is what it is.
Because
I
when you're a star, you can get away with doing things. And
well,
she's
She's
there
not. I'm
because of her
sorry. She
name.
is not a big star. We don't need her to get.
You're wrong. She
No,
is a bigger
not.
star than that guy from the Rascals.
No,
I'm
She has
she's
She's
sorry.
went.
here for her
She has went
marketing.
I'm
Like
downhill so
that's
much
why the
after she
double
lost
standard is
UFC.
there. I know. You're not wrong, but she is a bigger star and brings attention. He doesn't. That's why the double standard is there. You're right. It is a double standard. Everybody's right, but like
yeah.
that's why.
AEW does not need her.
And Net, what were you saying?
oh, I was gonna say there are few people on AEW, wrestlers and commentators, who I have personal problems with, and above all else, I think this this person here, Rhonda, is the worst of the worst. I don't think it's a good look
Uh,
at all.
I disagree with that statement. There are people that are currently in the main event scene in AEW that, in spite of their horrific past behaviors, are still right up there at the top. People I don't even want to name drop right now, like people that have done disgusting things that people in lesser positions have been canceled forever over. It's BS. It's a
Mm-mm.
double standard, you know.
I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like a lot of the past behavior of quite a few people with AEW, but this one really leaves a bad taste.
Agreed.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No, no.
I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I'm trying to come at this from both angles, and it's going to continue to happen whether we, like it or not. I see like I've been boycotting the Fed since Janelle Grant. Gonna continue to do so. I'm not sure if this is so. I mean, Tony is very forward with like outreach in terms of like supporting social programs, the LGBTQT, communities. He was between the two major promotions. He was the only, person that advocated for Black History Month. I mean, I don't know. Is this bad? Is it a bad look? Yeah, sure. It would have been bad anywhere she showed up, but like I said, it's just how the business goes down.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep, it's the business. Well, that's going to end it for the show. Thank you for listening to Ignition or watching it. We will be back Tuesday at 8:45 Eastern Time with our regular Ignition show, where we'll be talking about the hot topics in AEW. Maybe we'll talk some more about Ronda Rousey if something happens on AEW Dynamite tomorrow night regarding Ronda Rousey. And if it does, again, tune in right after Dynamite at EPW Show on YouTube for Everything Pro Wrestling podcast. I couldn't remember the word. It's what we're doing right now. And you will see some really good stuff. They do cover the entire show of AEW Dynamite right after Dynamite on their YouTube channel. You can check them out on YouTube. And if you're on our Discord, you can find links for them on Discord. Occasionally, you can find them on Greatness of Wrestling, AEW Fan Hub, All Elite subreddits, of course, on their Twitter channel, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They're everywhere, just like AEW Fan Hub is. So give them a listen. And like I said, be sure to leave comments. They're very, very, very good about addressing comments when they're made. Again, that's it for tonight. We'll see you on Tuesday night. Thank you for listening, everybody. 48
Good night,
W Bad Eye Podcast team.
Good night, Eddie
everybody.
Kingston.
Good night,
Good
Eddie.
night, Eddie King.
Good night, Eddie
Good night.
Kingston.
Good night
Good
and
night,
happy birthday,
Danhausen.
Brody King.